Hey everybody, welcome back. Another amazing episode of the Circle of Knowledge podcast. I'm going to talk slow because the coverage in our area is a little slow today, but I am so excited to introduce another amazing speaker, an incredible guest to our show. Before we bring this individual on, I'd like to say thank you to our audience and to you champions out there who are seeking every possible way to win in your lives. And I'm so proud of you, and I'm so honored to be in your network and to be in your circle. As you seek ways to find opportunities to grow outside of your current shell or outside of your current environment, we challenge you to take the information you receive from the Circle of Knowledge podcast and to use that as actionable items and do so as if it were your homework. And I always like to say, if you will do so in a way where you're obsessed to achieve your goals, you will receive them in a very, very accelerated fashion. I'm really excited to talk with the individual who will be featured on our show today. Her name is Clara Capano, and I met Clara in Dallas, Texas, on set for the Amazon Prime Video's TV show known as Speak Up, a really amazing and front-running TV show about speakers sharing messages, rules, their TV shows, and so forth. And this individual not only lights up a stage, but she lights up your heart, and she gets you really, really hyper-focused in a very, very exhilarating way. And so help me, everybody, welcome our friend and an amazing speaker, mentor, coach, and author, Miss Clara Capano, to the Circle of Knowledge. Clara, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. What a nice introduction. And it is just an honor to be here. You know, when we did meet, I just, not only were you just a great speaker and professional, but again, you have the heart of a champion too. And I just really want to, acknowledge you for everything that you're doing and helping to bring greatness together. So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. You just made me blush. I'm really excited. I am really, when you're focused on serving people, which is what you're amazing at, you have the ability to teach, coach, and help so many people at rapid rates. You're on fire. You're doing so many amazing things. When you're in the mindset of serving and helping and focusing on others, life just seems to like fly by. It is totally in movement and in sync with the world of awesomeness. And you are one of those people who I look up to and that emulate this idea of focusing on the things that are most important in your lives. And I appreciate you for that. And I'm so excited to highlight you, but I don't want to take up the time to speak. I want to give you that opportunity. And I'd like to ask you to share with my listeners, tell us who Clara is. How did you get here? A little bit of your background. What's your story? And how did you get to where you are now?
Thank you so much. And you're going to let me talk because I'm very shy. It's hard for me to talk. I got to where I am by making a lot of mistakes and really having huge breakdowns. And that was really my signature talk that I did on the Amazon Prime Speak Up, is the idea that I was completely burned out. I grew up in California and I have an amazing family. I'm the youngest of 4 children. And I grew up with just this drive for success. But for me, my definition of success was put in the hard work. And then when you put in the hard work, put in even more hard work. So I was just on that roller coaster of always giving more. And I wasn't really living. I was surviving barely. I was showing up, but I wasn't really purposeful. And, I developed health issues at the age of 26. I had ulcers. I was battling depression, eating disorders, and then it just started compounding from there. My path has been through real estate. And when I went on and did that, again, I just stayed on the hamster wheel. And it was really after my son was born and when he was about 3 years old that I realized things had to change. And I realized I needed to redefine what success was. It wasn't about checking off all the boxes and having all the accolades and the big house with the fancy car on the golf course and doing all those things. It was really, again, about serving, because I didn't like who I was. And so at the age of 35, 37, I just had to make a decision that, I had to change, because even though I was showing up, I was empty, I was alone, I was lost. And I just had to, really get myself centered. And it was through that, and through sharing my story, and through being courageous enough to say, I need help, I'm falling apart. I realized that so many other people were feeling the exact same way. And so I just decided that I was going to move forward and not just do my job in real estate and in coaching, but, really do my job of bringing people together and saying, let's stop, comparing ourselves to others' highlight reel. Let's come together and let's really help each other grow. And, so now I just really focus on, am I showing love every day? Am I doing my best to inspire and to serve others and helping them be great? And that's how I define success now.
That's amazing. And what I love about you is the solution was, let's just stop doing this thing and let's do something that's like positive and moving in a right direction. Mm-hmm. And I wish more people knew how simple it was, because if you can take a light switch and flip it on to turn the lights on and flip it down to turn the lights off, can't we also just do that with aspects of our life? I mean, yeah. We complicate so many things with our emotions, with related thoughts and so forth, but we really truly can simplify things. And you've done an amazing job of just flipping that switch for people as you've done it for yourself. Tell me a little bit more about that transition from, this is a self-realization, to now I can do this for other people.
Right. Well, I want to just bring in that, yes, it is simple. The concept is simple, but it's not easy.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
It causes us to, one, have to be honest with ourselves, which is not always easy. And then two, we have to change. And change is messy. And, and honestly, sometimes people around us aren't used to that change. And they want to, pull us back or hold us back, whether they're aware of it or not. So for me, it was, again, like I said, lying in a puddle of tears on the floor, with my son, who was 3, saying, Mommy, you're not paying attention to me. And, he's 16 now, and I still carry around a lot of guilt with that, and, wanting to make sure. And I just knew, there were other people. And so I just decided that my platform had to be around helping others. And trying to figure out the right way to say this, helping others feel safe enough to know that they can ask for help. So giving them a very safe environment, a very honest environment where they can say, I'm not perfect, and I'm very much a fan of owning your imperfections. And I don't pretend for a second that I have it all figured out. I mean, there's many days where I'm still a hot mess. But again, bringing in that it's going to be okay. And knowing that we are worthy, and, letting those imperfections, letting those mistakes bring us together so that we can help each other. And again, I think it was just in having the bravery, because I didn't want to ask for help, because if I asked for help, then I wasn't successful, because I couldn't do it all myself. And I had to change my mindset around asking for help was not a negative thing. It actually was strength. And it is in the fact that we grow stronger when we help each other. And so it's just, and you've got to change that mindset. So I did a lot of mindset work. I did a lot with visualization, written affirmations. I did a lot with just showing up and being authentic, because I was trying so hard to be this other person that had it all together. And when I started being authentic and saying, I don't have it all together, and that's okay, but let's talk about these things, that the right people started coming to me, and I really started to grow in my strength, because there is beauty in authenticity. And then for me, coming up with real solutions. It's very easy to sit there and say, just put together a schedule and, you've got this and you can handle it. I really focus on real solutions with the people that I teach, speak to, and coach, and say, okay, let's make this work for you. So what do we need to start saying yes to? What do we need to say no to? Let's communicate with our families. Let's communicate with our significant others, our clients, and understanding that it's not about doing everything. It's about identifying the right things, and let's create some workable strategies for those.
Amazing. And I love that. I have to ask, in the process of this transformation for you, was there someone or something that inspired or motivated you to to walk that path, to be vulnerable with yourself and acknowledge the hard things and make change, I guess, unmess the messy of
Yes.
realization?
There's so many people. I mean, obviously my son was my big driving force. And then I just sort of started to surround myself with my circle of excellence and my circle of, brilliance. One person who definitely helped me is my mentor, Larry Kendall, who is the founder of Ninja Selling. So I'm an independent contractor for Ninja Selling Systems. And he really took me under his wing. And I knew that if he believed in me and saw the worthiness and the greatness inside me, he's not a foolish man. So I was like, okay, if he trusts me and believes in me, there's got to be more there. I will tell you, Marianne Williamson, not necessarily her specifically because I don't know her, but her passage, Our Deepest Fear, when I read that, it's all about the beauty in not playing small. And that when we step into our light, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same thing. When I read that for the first time, it unlocked me because I was always the girl behind somebody else, trying to focus on them and not feeling my own worthiness. So I actually read that every day for almost an entire year. And it still is on my vision board now. And then I just started really getting clear on who is it I want to become? Who is, as a woman, as a person, as a business owner, as a mom, who is it I want to become? And then I started just to pay attention to them because success leaves clues. And I started saying, okay, what are then the habits, the disciplines, the skill sets? How do I need to show up? Because I knew that if I followed the patterns of the people that I wanted to be more like, and I got clear on who I wanted to become, if I showed up as that person, I would become that person. And it's still a work in progress, but that's kind of what I use as my compass.
Well, I love that because what you just said emulates the in my opinion, one of the most powerful messages in Marianne Williamson's quote, that it's not that we are inadequate, it's that we are powerful beyond measure. And I love hearing that. That is amazing. On the Circle of Knowledge podcast, we love to ask our guests to share nuggets of knowledge. What's a nugget of knowledge of all the things you've learned, and as you're starting to help so many people in your practice, what's a nugget of knowledge you wish everyone would know? And then we'll follow that up by asking them, we challenge them to take action on that. And so what's something that you would love to share with them that everyone should know, or at least needs to know right now?
Sure. Okay. Can I share two of them?
So the first, I love more nuggets. We want all the nuggets.
Yeah. The first one is progress, not perfection. This is something I share in, everything that I do. Is we struggle so hard for this, again, image of perfection. But what we have to realize is it's all about progress. And if you just take those baby steps, every day and just get 1% better, and that 1% could be getting up 5 minutes earlier. It could be reaching out to a client, a loved one, a friend, and making a phone call so you can have a conversation as opposed to just sending an email or a text message. It could be, watching something motivational as opposed to watching something on TV. But it's all about progress. And so I think that's a big thing to really look at. The second nugget is success lies in our struggles. One of the stories that I love is the story of a butterfly. And as the butterfly emerges from its cocoon, it's a lot of work and it struggles. But if we were to go over and to try and help that little butterfly emerge with ease, it doesn't gain the strength to be able to fly. So we have to understand it's in that struggle. And as it's emerging, that's what's strengthening its wings so that the butterfly can fly. And it's the same thing with us. As much as we don't like it, as uncomfortable as it is, success lies in our struggles because it helps us to learn. It helps us to grow. It helps us to expand our comfort zones, expand our perceptual map and see things differently. And so we have to learn that we have to start embracing those struggles, because that's really what takes us to the next level. And I don't like it either, but we've got to get comfortable with the discomfort. So those would be two things that I would really encourage people to bring in.
Boom, pow, such packed full of information. I love how simple Clara makes it. It's just boom, boom, pow. We gotta get from A to B, and this is how you do it, and you can make the progress. And I've got some people listening in live who love that piece of the progress. I'm just to share my friend Lauren. She says, "Oh, I love that progress is a powerful piece
Mm-hmm.
to that. And I think that that's an amazing reminder for everything. And so with that being said, I know that you shared how to do it, but what would you challenge my listeners to take action on today? Like if there was one step that they could take right now in order to apply one of these 2 nuggets of knowledge, what would you advise?
It starts with getting clear on your vision. What is it you really want to accomplish? Who is it you want to become? But we have to understand that, there's really only 2 things that we can control every day: the mindset that we wake up with, and then the actions that we take during the day. So it all starts with how we show up every morning, because that's really what is about the energy that we bring, and that will stem to everything else. So an exercise that I love to run people through is, I call it the 5 words exercise. So for the listeners, think about a time when you were, we call it in the zone, everything's clicking along and you left an appointment, you got off the phone, you're like, I nailed it. We all have that moment. Think about that moment and come up with 5 words that you would use to describe yourself in that moment. So for me, when I'm in the zone, my 5 words are energized, passionate, prepared, genuine, and inspiring. Those 5 words represent Clara when Clara is at her best. This is also who my clients expect me to be every day. Because if I show up as anything less than my 5 words, I am not serving at the level that I have committed to serve. So I get connected with those every morning, whether I'm going to be on an interview, speaking, writing, coaching, whatever it is. I ask myself, Clara, are you prepared to be this person today? Because I want to show up in my, high energy, high performance quadrant, because that's how I'm going to produce the results, produce the connections, and really develop the relationships to serve and to be the person I want to be.
Wow. I'm got to put down my pen and show you the notes I'm writing. This is amazing.
Well, it's good you're recording this so you can listen to it again and again.
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate that, because Lauren says, I wish I had pen and paper. Well, lucky for you, Lauren, it is definitely recorded. But thank you for sharing that. And thank you for sharing that with my listeners in such a powerful way. You guys, if you haven't heard Clara speak on stage, she is just as powerful. And she, I mean, when you've got like myself, who I really have to process and put myself in the shoes of my stories, it takes me 15 minutes to get through a very, very small segment. But because she is so elegantly quick and profound in her words and her word choice, she is very simplified in how she connects you to the results. She can put in like 4 or 5 messages of amazingness in a very, very short segment. And you just experience that. She's so good at communicating, which is why working with Clara is a no-brainer. She's so good at doing that. I want to ask you, and kind of transition a little bit, before we talk about Speak Up and your experience there, tell me a little bit about what you do now to help people, how your processes are, and some of the experiences you're having as you're helping people with your current line of work and practice.
Well, thank you. And thank you for those kind words. That was really sweet of you. And I do appreciate that. That means a lot, coming from a peer and someone who, again, knows when they see, professionalism. So I appreciate that. I'm doing a lot of things. I would say that my target audience is really women in business. And, I'm all about helping smart women make smart choices, again, knowing what to step into, how to be more strategic, really measure what they're doing, getting clear on leveraging their time and taking the right actions, and also understanding the power of self-care. So, I do, coaching. I also have a mastermind group. I have a monthly mastermind group for women in business. I do a TV show that I just launched over COVID. It's called The Working Women's Channel, although I might be changing it to Smart Women, Smart Choices. And I interview women from all over, sharing their stories of success. Again, working to really build that community and to share those nuggets from women that have, been in the hot seat and how they've come out of it. I have 2 online classes. I'm just getting ready to launch my Smart Women's course, which is going to be an online 5-week course that takes them through, the steps to being smart and making the higher level choices. And then I have one, it's a 6-week course. It's called the Success Creation Project. It's all about business planning. But I don't call it business planning because I call it success planning, because it's about how do you create success in business as well as in your life. So again, we really talk about those nuggets and bring those in. And then in addition to that, I love to speak at organizations, Chamber of Commerce's. I'm doing a lot over COVID. I was doing a lot with people that I knew, and they were bringing me in to talk to their group of women. And then I was using that as a platform to, again, share not only the nuggets, but, build my following as well. So I'm just trying to do my part in bringing people together and, highlighting the greatness and the simplicity, and just, again, letting them know, even though there's going to be bumps along the way, we can still do this.
So what you're saying is you don't have much going on at all.
No, not at all. Oh, I'm writing my third book too. Yeah, I'm writing my third book too. So yeah, no, I have nothing going on. I just sit around and eat bonbons and sit by the pool all day long. It's pretty simple.
You guys,
but when you do what you love, yeah. But when you do what you love, people say that to me all the time, and I know one of your other guests that we met there, Nick was telling me, you got to take some time off. You got to slow down. And I'm like, but I love what I do. And so it energizes me. I take a lot of time off. I do take my downtime. I understand the importance of that. But I love what I do so much that I just want to help people, and it feels so good. And I know that I have information that can help. It transformed my life. Again, just these little nuggets freed up space. And I know that I need to share these things because I know others are struggling too. So if I can help people, I want to do it.
Amazing. I appreciate you answering that the way you did. Because people like us, Clara, we fill our lives with the things we love, and those happen to fuel our lives in both monetized ways and as well as, in emotional and fulfilling ways. And I think that that's a very important piece to remember. And for my listeners to realize, look, if you're working a job that you loathe, you should quit immediately or find a solution as fast as possible, because when you fill your life with things you love, it constantly, it invites more things that you love into your life. And so not only do you become busy, but you become busy doing the things you love, which is.
Yeah, and I've been there. I remember driving to a job, crying every day, and again, the stress that it brought. And now I get on a plane. I'm usually, gone 30 weeks out of the year. And I love it because, again, it's that serving mentality. And I get excited for Monday to come, so I can work and be with my clients and my people. So it's true. It's, you may not know how today. Another one of my great favorite sayings is the vision comes first, the how will find a way. So you may not be able to 100% change it today, but you can start with the baby steps. You can start with, again, what is your vision? And then tomorrow start looking and transition. It is a process, but you don't need to stay where you don't want to be.
Oh, I love that. I want to ask you about your experience on stage at Speak Up. We were recently in Dallas together where we first met, and I just thoroughly enjoyed the experience. And I wanted to hear from you, what it was like to speak on stage in a studio months before its release on Amazon Prime Video, and you're a little bit about your message too there. I know you had a very, very powerful message in what you shared, and you are episode number 3.
I'm episode 3.
The lucky number 3 of season 3, 33 all the way. But tell me a little bit about your experience, and then I have a small clip that I'll share with our audience.
Oh, thank you. No, I loved it. I was a little nervous, not nervous as far as fear and nervous, but nervous as to, was it going to be a valuable experience? Because, it was an investment of both time and dollars, but it was incredible. One, I love to be on stage, so I'm kind of a big ham that way, as you can probably already tell. So I don't have a problem speaking in public anymore. I actually used to have a deathly fear of it, but I have worked on that. But I loved the camaraderie. I loved learning from so many other people. One of my goals was to do a talk like this. I didn't know Amazon had it, so I was looking at it as a TED Talk. But, when I found out about Amazon doing it, it was on my life list. So I was able to check that off. But it was just awesome. It was so empowering. It really got me clear on my message, what I wanted to say, what I wanted to connect with. Because again, it's not about me. It's about how can the message help other people. And, for anybody else that is wanting to speak but is struggling with the fear of public speaking, focus on the message. And that was a big thing for me that helped me get over my fear of public speaking, is thinking less about me and focusing on the connection and how is this going to help the listeners, because then you show up very differently. But it was great. I mean, I'm working on, leveraging it to get me more visibility and to do more speaking gigs. I'm working on, my next big talk. But I loved every minute of it.
And we were talking in the green room or backstage, literally just on the same screen, but I call it backstage, before this show. And we were talking about leveraging that experience. And as speakers, when you have the opportunity to write a book or be on a stage or be on some sort of TV show or be featured on the news or whatever, leveraging that is a very, very important aspect of what we do as speakers and how we grow our career. And something that I was just remembering was this experience in one, we all got to meet and be, I guess, red carpeted as speakers, which is a really cool and exciting part of the speaking experience. And then two, you're right. Aside from the celebrity speaker for that entire series, we were all up and coming speakers. We're all powerful in our trade and we're all amazing in our practice, but speaking is one of those things that we're increasing in our repertoire. And I love the fact that we have the ability to inspire and motivate others. And what I would say that the most important piece for us moving forward is reminding people of the resource that we've now created, the evergreen content that everyone can go and learn from, because your message was so powerful in helping people find quick transformations and solutions to the things in their lives. And it was such a beautiful story and message. I want to share just a small clip, if you don't mind. And Dee Dee was on the show last week, and so she didn't say I had any copyright issues, but I've got here episode 3, Clara Capano, Burnout, Breakdown, Breakthrough. And this is just in line with what you were talking about. I'm going to put my microphone a little bit closer. See if we can get a really good sound out of this. I'm going to skip the intro.
So I want to ask you a question. Are you successful? I want to begin my talk by sharing a story with you. This is a story about a little girl. A girl whose desire was to be successful. When she was young, she began to define success, all relating back to hard work. She knew that if she just gave her all in everything she did, everybody would see how hard she was working, and therefore she would be successful. During school, she excelled in honors level classes. She would do extracurricular activities. And when she was 16, after she got her driver's license, her very first stop was to go and get her first job. In college, she graduated with 2 degrees in 4 years, all while working full time. And then immediately after graduation, she dove into that career. And by the age of 26, she had made it. She was working at a top real estate company, had the fancy car. She had checked off all those boxes.
And I'm wondering, did the screen share? I was on another page. Was it just me holding the microphone?
It was just you holding the mic, but that's okay.
Oh, too bad. Okay, let me try one more time. She's so sweet. She didn't remember me, and I was like, I really want to share this because you guys, you have to see it. You have to see it. Okay, let's see if it worked this time.
There we go.
There we go. Okay, you guys got to see the cool part of me.
Let me try this. Success. But one of the other lessons that she learned at the age of 26 is that there was a cost to that success. Because in addition to checking off all the boxes, she had developed ulcers. She was battling an eating disorder. She was borderline suicidal. And she was completely burned out. In fact, one day on her drive to work, she had the thought, if I were to get into an accident, not a serious one, but one that was just serious enough, maybe she would end up in the hospital for a couple of days, and she would finally be able to rest. She would have 2 days where nobody would bother her. And she could also maintain her level of success.
I remember that day.
Isn't that amazing? Oh my gosh, I love it. And that's so funny that that the screen didn't share. But here we are back to our conversation, and I'm going to zoom out of this. So, but I mean, I'm already at the edge of my seat. Like, how many of us have ever felt that? Like, man, if only I could just have some catastrophic thing that wouldn't kill me, but that would cause me to just, be down for a month or so. Then I would finally be able to rest. Like, if we're thinking that way, if we're feeling that way, then something's off. Something's out of line. Something's out of tune in our lives. Right. And you were mentioning this in what you were saying earlier. That there are simple fixes, but change is messy. And I don't know. I just love that message. And by the way, just she has the stage presence of a queen, that stunning red dress, the amazing opportunity to speak in front of a live audience. What a cool deal. And I just appreciated that message. And I know that my listeners will love that too. And I don't know if you had any thoughts or comments as to that experience that day and what you felt like on that stage sharing that message.
Yeah. I mean, again, I got off the stage and I'm like, I nailed it. Not that there wasn't anything that I want to change. I'm working on expanding. I think, mine was about 14 minutes long, and I'm working to expanding that, into about a 45-minute keynote speak that I'm going to be starting to give, so I can go a little bit deeper into a little bit more training and takeaways on it. But, it felt good. Yes, there was the red carpet aspect, and don't get me wrong, it feels good. But it was more about, when I came off stage, when people would come to me and not just tell me, oh, you were a great speaker. I mean, again, it's always nice hearing that, but it's I took this away, or I was able to implement that. When I teach and people are like, I loved hearing this, or they send me, emails. I love when my people come back and say, oh, my production's up. That's fabulous. But I'm more in love with when they tell me I was able to go on vacation and go on vacation. I was able to make every event for my kids. I had one of my clients, and again, on the hamster wheel, and she just did a simple thing of trusting the process and decided to turn her business off at 7 p.m. And she started telling her clients, listen, if it's after 7, you'll hear from me the next day. And that little switch, her business was up, I think, almost 40% the next year. She didn't lose any clients, but you have to have the courage to know what you need and to demand the respect of your time. So, I work with a lot of my clients because the truth is we all have enough time for the things that we make a priority. So I help them get clear on what are going to be the priorities, and then how are we going to leverage the time? Because it's not about doing more. None of us need to be doing anything more. We need to do better with the things that we are doing.
That is such a powerful, and I slapped my hands. It really was so cool to be in there to feel that. But then you just reiterating it now is just as impactful and powerful. I'm so honored to know you and just to be your friend and to have associated with you. And I think that you have a powerful message. The one thing I was going to say is, as speakers, doing what you're doing, transform that talk into 45-minute presentations. And then even if you can, write it up into a 1 or 2 day seminar or workshop or whatever. That's the next step that we're all taking. But then selling ourselves to be on more stages and opportunities is the next step, which you and I can chat about later. But I think
absolutely, and again, I just want to throw it out there, a lot of people think to bring in a speaker, again, they have to pay for it. There's a lot of opportunities to bring in a speaker. But again, if you allow the speaker to use it as a tool to promote themselves, that can either minimize or eliminate the cost. Again, I'm getting ready to do a talk for a title company that I work with, and they are doing it to promote it as a client appreciation event for the women in real estate that they work with. So I'm going in and I'm giving my talk, but I'm using it as a tool to sell the book, again, to sell my online courses. So there really is no cost to them. So I'm just saying, if you have a group, don't sit there and think, I don't have the budget for a speaker. Just ask, because there could be other ways to bring in amazing people to share messages that aren't going to necessarily affect your pocketbook. There is a way, and there are people out there that you can connect with and collaborate with and create amazing opportunities.
Amazing. And wow, there's so much knowledge being shared in nuggets. It's a beautiful thing. Clara, I want to respect your time and also thank you for just all the things you shared with our audience. First of all, what would be the best way for our people to get a hold of you? Because you are solution oriented and you have a lot of answers to a lot of the questions that a lot of my women and female entrepreneur listeners are curious about. How could they get in touch with you?
Yeah. So the best way is just to visit my website, which is just claracapano.com. On my website, I have access to my blogs, my books, my trainings, my TV show, everything Clarity is on my website. So definitely go there. And for all of your listeners, women, men included, I do have a free gift for everybody. If you go to my website, I have a free ebook that you can download. It's called The Art of Saying No, because let's be honest, it's hard to say no. And we all know we need to do it. So again, it gives some real strategies on how to learn to say no without necessarily having the receiver hear you say no. So everybody can go and download that for free. So I just highly encourage you, if anything, do that. That'll help you right there. But then certainly if you want to talk more, connect more, do some of the other things, that's the best way to find me.
You said it was The Art of Saying No?
The Art of Saying No.
Oh.
And then certainly everybody can follow me. I'm all over Facebook, Instagram, all that good social media stuff, so they can follow me there.
Awesome. I just wanted to show that for our listeners. So claracapano.com, free ebook, The Art of Saying No. Go get it. Go take advantage of that, you guys. That will be in our show notes. If you're listening to this recording on our podcast, or if you're watching this live, that is a great, amazing resource. And thank you. I always tell our guests, you don't have to share anything. You don't have to offer anything. You don't have to give anything. But if you do, we are very, very grateful. And we broadcast the heck out of it because it's amazing for our listeners to have those resources. So I appreciate you and doing that. And what a really cool resource you have to share to the world. I mean, saying no is a powerful piece, and having that as ownership and creating boundaries in your life. Wow. What a great piece to offer. Clara, I'm so grateful for your time, and this has been an amazing interview experience. I hope we do it again, and also I hope we get to share on the same stages. We'll connect later as well, mastermind a little bit on how to take our new baby of Speak Up episode and take it to the world to get us on more stages.
I love it. When we come together and share our greatness, we all win, and that's just what we have to do. We have to do more of making sure that we all win.
I agree. And if you're listening right now or listening to the recording and you have a stage or you have an event coming up and you feel like you need a powerful speaker, Clara Capano is an amazing punch to your audience to get them out of their seats on the edge and get them finding solutions in their lives. And so please take advantage of the opportunity to connect with Clara and find ways that you can put her on your stage, put her in front of your audience and your people, because as entrepreneurs, as business owners, we all know that we need to leverage the power of others in order to help others get what they want so we can get what we want. And by doing so, leverage creates that powerful synergy of awesomeness and allows us to create valuable relationships and connections for the rest of our lives. So, Clara, thank you so much for your time. And thank you for the offer. And thank you for the gift to our listeners. And we appreciate you. And you're amazing. And you're off to amazing things. And I appreciate and value our friendship.
Yes. Thank you so much. Again, this is just the beginning of greatness for all of us. And again, I just honor and acknowledge you for everything you're doing to bring us together and to share beauty with the world each and every day. So keep doing what you're doing. You're doing amazing things too.
Hey, thank you so much. And cheers to that, I would say.
Yep, cheers. Exactly. I don't have my mug with me right now, but yes, but cheers to that. So
I always
love you all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Clara, and appreciate your time. That was Clara Capano, everybody, and we appreciate you all. And we're going to have a quick outro. But again, thank you for joining us on the Circle of Knowledge podcast. For our listeners, if you have any questions, comments, or if you want to suggest a speaker on our show, please email me. You can reach me at john@amplifiedminds.com. We're still under the Amplified Minds network, but we have transferred our book of business over to the Champion Circle Networking Association. And give it up for Clara Capano, everybody. What an amazing session. Go find her at claracapano.com. Go get that free ebook. And we will see you next time on the Circle of Knowledge podcast. Don't forget to accept the challenge and to take action in every area of your life.